Curtis K.I. Wire.
Keith Sweat Keith Sweat was recently a guest on The Breakfast Club. And in the middle of this conversation that talks about riding through heartbreak, award snubs, and the evolution of R&B, they get to a conversation that Keith Sweat opens up about what he sees as the moment that R&B, I guess, started to become less of a priority in the mainstream and why he felt like that happened. His theory is interesting. Listen to this.
It is interesting though how you got a whole generation that's rediscovering like real grown R&B.
Right.
So what do you think like modern R&B is getting right, and what do you think that they're missing that they keep coming back to the OG stuff?
Well, like I had a conversation with Pleasure and some of them young brothers, and I said, man, y'all keep saying R&B is dead. Y'all kill R&B because y'all want to curse in songs.
Damn. Well, damn. Can you imagine having a conversation with OG and you're like, man, R&B's dead, man. Like, man, I missed the days. And he like, you killed it. What you mean, OG? All that damn cussing you did. The fuck was y'all thinking? That's the funniest part about it. You know you cussed when he said it.
Y'all want to act like R&B is a rap record. You know what I'm saying? I mean, R&B is foreplay. R&B is, y'all took the whole foreplay game out the rap. If you cursing and you trying to make up with your girl or whatever, and you playing a R&B song, you cursing, how you gonna make up? Y'all been arguing, so now the record arguing with y'all.
Damn, he said y'all made the arguments worse with your R&B. That's crazy. That's a crazy take. Hey, look, and I'm not mad at that. I'm not, like, I know it's a bit of an unk take. I get it, but I'm not mad at that. Is that, I don't know, something about eat the booty like groceries don't really get me in the mood with my lady. You feel me? Like something about that would make me stop what I'm focused on, you know? Something about some of the lyrics that feel like they're more so reaching towards virality and more so a certain cynicism that I think exists within the writing spaces. It would be interesting to see what would happen to a new generation that did prioritize making, like, nobody fall in love no more. I swear I see people in relationships, in marriage, nobody fall in love no more. Only pop artists fall in love. Like, I get that. Is that, am I off? What happened? Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Like they joined the argument, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, that's not what R&B was about. That's what R&B is to mellow shit out, you know what I'm saying? For y'all to sit down, talk it out,
I would never get why somebody would make R&B music for YNs. What is the purpose? Like, I want to say YNs for the stereotypical image of what people have put out there as quote unquote YNs. I don't know why anybody would think that's your demographic. I don't know why somebody would think that's good business if they not buying records, what's going on? What is the business of this? Like, why are there, I shouldn't say why are there no more, because I'm sure that it exists in some spaces, but when you heard Maxwell sing things like "Till the Cops Come Knocking," there was like, it was something somehow more sexual about him telling, what I do, the cops gonna come knocking by the time I'm done with you. That shit sound more sexual than spread them cheeks like butter from the grocery store at the end of the week. Like, that sounds a little bit, you know what I'm saying? That sounds like, I don't know.
Talk it out. Y'all done killed the game. So that's why they keep sampling my shit.
Ooh,
Because they like, make it last. Who can love you like me? Nobody. You know, you got me twisted, girl. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, this is where it stopped being so much of an unk take. He just said, who said that, Curtis? Nobody. I just made that line up. This is shit they be saying. I done had rappers come through here with the critique. Matter of fact, I'm gonna pull up this clip after this. I done had rappers come through here who send their music off for critique my beats, and somebody says something about, baby, the way that I'll have you, the way that I say, I just want a piece of your chocolate fondue. fuck does that even mean? Baby, the way you give me dome, I know you went to college. All that head on you, I know you went to college. Yeah, that's how you get them, man. Man, the way you just boosted her self-esteem up is crazy, bro. Like, you really like you like women and shit, huh? And I've always, not always, but I've developed this theory after listening to these songs that feel like they're not really made for women. They're not really made for women. They're made for men who fantasize about a woman that doesn't exist, that you only made up in your mind. You're making songs for men and you don't even know it. Sexy songs for men's and you don't even know it. You just think because it has a sexy R&B song. And going back to the point here, I think it's really, really funny that we talk about in this era, people are not falling in love. People are not having those romantic moments. And maybe that is a reflection of society in some place for Gen Z or whatever the case. Then why they keep sampling Where It Sounds Like Love at, a.k.a. Keith Sweat's records?
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
It must be something that is in the DNA of that music that feels too good to ignore. I need to sample it. Damn it, something feels so much better about having this Keith Sweat sample here, because maybe it's filling in the gaps where my pen lacks. Oh, let me fucking cook. It's filling in the gaps where my pen lacks, where my awareness lacks, where I could throw on somebody who can sing, put somebody on the hook, and I could pretty much bullshit my way through these verses and sing song flow. This is the thing that I've hated the most about the Drake era. Yeah, we're not done blaming everything on Drake. I've hated how many people have followed in his footsteps that had no business following in his footsteps. I hate how many rappers try to turn into this multi-talented singer that they never were. I hated how much they thought auto-tune could fill in the gaps for them, and it didn't. And now when you hear them do it, it makes you ask the question, why don't you just go get a singer? It comes off cheap, almost as cheap as AI art looks. Don't let me get started. Don't let me get started. As cheap as AI art looks, it looks cheap to me now as a listener when I hear somebody that gets auto-tune and they settle for bullshit singing. When there are singers out here who need very minimal auto-tune to get their point across, and they can sing with an emotion. There's a skill set. The same way us as rappers, we can recognize other rappers who are not rapping from a place of passion, but it's from a place of I'm trying to perform and impress people. Singers can tell when singers are doing that. It's time, and I don't care if this ages or unks me. It's time to bring the singers back in the studios. Rappers, you're fucking terrible at singing. Matter of fact, my wife told me I was terrible at singing. She said, she didn't say that, but she was like, I like it when you rap more than when you sing. And she looked at me to see how I was going to land, and I said, thank you, because I know that comes from a place of honesty. Bring the singers back in the studio, man. Like, are you trying to make amazing music, or are you trying to make your music a reflection of your narcissism? Okay, we'll talk about that later.
So that's what everybody's going back to. That's why they're resampling my songs.
I got into a argument with this guy at Starbucks yesterday, right? 2 days ago. He works there, and he was talking about hip hop and R&B, and he was saying that, you know, people are making R&B hip hop, and I'm like, that's not true. I'm like, there are some R&B artists that are hip hop, like Mary J. Blige.
List me some names real quick. If you're watching a rewatch, put it in the comments. List me some names of some singers who are getting it right. I want to highlight that in this video. Just start naming them in the chat right now. Who are some of your favorites that are like more in line with the kind of R&B that we're talking about here?
Say Chris Brown, but I said there are R&B artists that are not hip hop, and I'm like Keith Sweat is an R&B artist. So do you think that when you talk about the cursing in the music, do you think there's different levels of doing it, different ways of doing it, like the hip hop version to R&B and then just R&B?
Well, back in the day, R&B was just R&B. Even when Mary did it back in the day, she still did it R&B. You know, I mean, and so I think what sometimes we as R&B artists have a tendency to do is we try to recreate ourselves and, you know, follow the trend of what everybody else is doing, which doesn't work for everybody. And it shouldn't work for everybody. I'm not trying to follow what everybody else is doing. That's why I'm in this lane by myself or certain lanes by myself because I don't care what he doing on the right or he doing on the left. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't make you a pioneer, following somebody else. Man, I don't want to follow you. I don't want to follow you. This is what I do. Because for so long, people...
You know why you got to take heed to that? Because his music still gets played at weddings. His music still gets played at events of people's biggest days of their lives. There are certain songs that you want to listen to on a daily because, hey, it's just the newest thing that you're into. And there's certain songs that you want to be there and mean something. By themselves, they stand on their own. When you hear like I know this is not R&B, but when you hear I Choose You, I choose you, babe, UGK, Outkast, it already sounds like it's embedded to be the intro of somebody's wedding song. And I've seen it at many, many wedding songs. You would imagine somebody like a Keith Sweat has left an impression. I'm loving these names that y'all are putting in here. Alex Isley's voice is so incredible. I was thinking about that the other day when I was driving to go get some food. I was listening in the car. I was like, Alex Isley's voice is so incredible. More of that. Like my thing is this. If we're living in a time where these R&B singers, let's say they are making songs for a younger demographic that does not see relationships or one another in the same kind of loving light that my generation saw it in. Well, that doesn't stop rom-coms from being filmed and financed in the movie industry. That doesn't stop romantic comedies. That doesn't stop these overly cheesy foreign films that are transitioning into English subtitles on Netflix from being made. There's still a space for it, and there's still money behind it because it is one of the, I don't care what era you're in, people are going to be falling in love. I just think that it feels like a very deliberate action to make sure that genres where black folks congregate, genres that we play and use in our almost as our daily mantras. It almost feels like an effort to be able to put in certain visions and images and thoughts, and it becomes a hypnosis. It becomes a hypnotizing experience, I think, for some listeners. I just don't like how imbalanced things have been. And there are some incredible, incredible singers that are telling stories that fall outside the cliche love songs. You know what I mean? Or even outside of like the more edgier love songs.
Talk shit about Keith Sweat, but he don't do this, he don't do that, he don't do that. So now my point is I'm just laughing 30 odd years later and saying, y'all thought I couldn't do this, and I didn't do that because I didn't want to do this.
What did they say you couldn't do?
I was about to say.
The only thing they say you just dance. That's it. That's the only thing I heard.
I could dance. Nigga. You seen me on something. Go back and look at some of the Instagram. I'm dancing.
No, I ain't gonna lie to you. He really like for real sound like an uncle of mine. I literally hear his voice and I'm like, I could see my uncle. That's crazy. Let me pull up this interview real quick that I just had with Shayanti, because she made a great point and I wanted to bring this to the forefront. Shayanti, Curtis King. Oh my goodness, where are you? Don't worry about my Miss Rachel is in my search engine. My son got access to my YouTube. I'm gonna bring this clip up real quick because I thought this was really dope. I asked her this question specifically because I knew I was gonna be doing this story. But let me get here to where I asked her this question about the theory that I shared with you earlier about the accidental red pill rappers. Because I think it applies to some singers as well. Peep this timestamp out. Love, but I need you to fire somebody up for me real quick.
Who we got to fire?
I need one more pack out. I need one more pack out from you. I need one more.
Pack up?
It's a whole group. If you don't know who Shayanti is, she is a songwriter. She is a producer, amazing content creator, and someone who has been very vocal about calling out folks like Timbaland and Suno AI. And I did an interview with her because we reacted to one of her clips. But in the middle of this conversation, I brought this up because she was cooking on this idea a little bit, and I was like, I wanted her to expand. So just to give you some context of dudes that I cannot relate to, but they don't understand, they don't see themselves, they don't smell themselves as my grandma used to say. Peep it out. I got this theory because I do this music critique series on Mondays, and I get a lot of independent music, some that is completely amazing. I've been exposed to some amazing singers and amazing rappers and artists, but there is a group who believe that they are making, quote, songs for the ladies. They think that they have a women's record, whatever they want to call it. But the song to me sounds like it's not made for a woman at all. It's actually made to be celebrated by red pillars, by Freaky Fridays.
Suck your mom. Suck your mom. Suck your mom.
I digress. Incels. Because the narratives that they put in here are so self-serving that it doesn't even exude the energy of a grown man. Because as a grown man, I'm like, no, that doesn't line up with the things and the values that I have. Can you talk to those individuals who may have an open ear in terms of you're making songs for other niggas? You're not making songs for no ladies on this earth. You're making songs for guys who fantasize about the same women. Have you seen this phenomenon? Like with you'll say things
friend.
like, girl, you
He's
supported my dreams and you feel me, like when I cheated on you, you still came back to me and made me a sandwich. You the realest one I know. Who the fuck is y'all talking to?
I have a friend. He's gonna eat me up because he's gonna watch this because he loves you. He loves your platform, and he was the
That scared me. Why he loved my platform and he on this timing?
one of them. Who's like excited that I'm gonna be talking to you, but he got this one goddamn song, and I choose his ass up every time I hear that shit. And he's one of them lines. He says, right on that day like a head-on collision.
He said what? This friend of hers was writing a song for a woman. He's a songwriter, and the woman happened to be his wife. And he had her say a line that said, ride on that dick like a head-on collision. What the fuck does that even mean?
Or something like that. And he wrote it for a woman. He had his wife demo with y'all, and I be roasting his ass up because I be like, now, friend.
Ride on that dick like a head-on collision?
Yeah, something, yeah, head-on collision. And I just be like, friend, there's nothing sexy.
Not you saying ouch, Jims. Ouch. That don't get you in the mood. That don't get you in the mood. Accidents don't get you in the mood. Top dog attorney don't get you in the mood. Golly.
About that. I'm not gonna lie, like as a woman, I'm not about to write on nothing like a head-on collision. I just want you to know that. I just need you to feel that for me. And
the fact that you heard a line like this tells you the problem with this entire situation. So is the mouth on it, or that's not how people get in the mood, right? Atira, that's not how people get in the mood. That's not how this works, right? Like the way that they're finna break down my shit is gonna make them horny. How intelligent I am. That's what. That complex metaphor, their nipples are gonna be so erect by the time they done thinking about this shit. That's not how you. Airbag deployed is crazy. What's wrong with y'all? Not you saying nah. Where's the collision at though? Ride on that dick like a head-on collision. I don't even want to figure it out.
But you know, sometimes men don't realize it. Listen, I'm a songwriter and I've written lots of records.
Niles, go away. Talking about if your sexy time don't end in an insurance claim, you're doing it wrong. I don't know.
I mean, a lot of records for men, for women. I feel like women writing for men are the best people to do that because we are women and we understand what women are looking for. Just an example of that, Nisha Charles, really big songwriter. She wrote No You Got It or No Guidance for Chris Brown. And, you know, when you listen to those lyrics, that song was a very big hit. She said Drake and Chris Brown asked her, tell me what you would want to hear as a woman, what you would want to hear a man say to you. So I feel like a lot of times women in the studio can come in on a beneficial angle to be able to write a song from a man singing to a woman because we know what we want to hear. So I just think it's just the sensitivity of being with a woman and really understanding not what you think she wants to hear, not what you think she finds sexy, not what you find sexy, but what does she find sexy? What does she find feminine? What does she find attractive? And really allowing her to tap into her feminine energy as a woman, you know, because I'm very alpha, but I'm also very feminine. So, you know, both sides I can relate to. And I think that's just important, just allowing that space for women to express their femininity, you know.
Come on, man. Shiante cooked on that answer.
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
Maybe I need to advance my request. Maybe the request is not just let's get the singers back in the building, because we do need singers back in the building. I think that any rapper who chooses to do this as a serious profession, I don't want to hear the excuse, well, singers are hard to come across. So is the money to build your studio up. So is an audience when you start putting your music out. So is subscribers and followers and listeners when you choose to put your music out there without a marketing plan. All of this is difficult, but you chose this profession. You need to have, like, your life depends on it, especially if you're talking or attempting to talk to a female or a woman demographic. You better have somebody on your team to advise. You better have someone that can give you perspective. I like the idea of her saying that when you are collaborating as a songwriter with a female songwriter, it gives you perspective that you're blinded to, that you make assumptions about. And I think that's necessary. Now, for those that are rappers that are like, I don't want nobody to be writing my lyrics, I get it, because I don't want nobody writing my lyrics. However, the same way that, let Drake have it, the same way that when diss songs go out there and you have to check things to make sure that you're legally safe, I think that we should have things out there that are saying, is this an assumption of mine about women? And I'm looking at this and I'm saying, yo, this is me talking to women. Am I blinded by my own biases in this? That perspective and that conversation, I think, is going to make for better music no matter what. I don't care what the topic is. You say you want to make a song for, men who struggle with loneliness. Well, then you probably want to talk to a lonely man. If you're not one of those. You want to motivate and inspire people, but you don't want to talk to people, which I think is something that I see with a lot of artists that I consult with. They don't really commune amongst each other. Like, I love being a DIYer.
DIYer.
But at some point in time, you're going to need other people. DIY in our tribe is all about, I'm going to get it started first. But when I start to get it started, I'll build so much momentum and so much noise around what I'm doing. People will want to assist or collaborate and elevate it together. The whole idea in this community, it can't be DIY. How you have a DIY community? How is it a do-it-yourself community? Because we all have that in common, but we know better. We know that when it's time to collaborate, and if somebody has more information, more knowledge, especially a woman who knows what it's like to be a woman, you probably should treat that as a high priority moving forward. When I listen to the conversation I had with AJ McQueen, it is no mystery to me why his meet and greets have so many women there, because he is very aware of how his words are going to land. Not hypersensitive, not censoring himself, but he has already done the self-work that makes the music just an extension of who he has become and worked on to become. And I think there's a lot of things going on right now in a space where a lot of the rappers that were able to kind of get off they bullshit, get off their misogyny, get off their like low-key narcissism type shit. I think they're seeing that for whatever reason, the audience is not reacting the same way. They're not as numb. They're not as zombified as before. So then what do? If you don't want to do the self-work, then for your own business, you might want to get somebody in there that has. I'm excited. I'm excited about the ripple effect of not just what happened over the last 2 years for hip hop and for mainstream rap, but I'm excited about what this could mean for R&B too. Like, I'm really curious about, as we are entering an era where I feel like skills, talents, things that you can do on camera, things you can do in person, whether it's play the keys, whether it's sing a note in a certain octave that most human beings cannot, I think that's going to be more valuable than ever, especially as we still discuss the rise and the ebbs and flows of AI music. I think now more so than ever, we need you to get anybody that has that talent, that has put the work in, we need you to get back to the forefront. We need to see actual talent come back to the forefront. And we need the people who are mediocre to sit your bitch ass down because we got AI now. We don't need you. For the people barely doing anything to improve upon what they're doing, you have no love or passion for it. Move your bitch ass to the side. We've got ChatGPT-ana and she's better. She's faster, brother. She's even better at being mediocre than you, sister. Shout out to Keith Sweat. Really great point and maybe a sign of things to come. I don't know. What are your thoughts, though, DIYers?
DIY.
Tear in your eye.